Hong Kong's Patriots-only district election, held amid tight security, witnessed a record low voter turnout of 27.5%, lesser than the 35.8% turnout of 1999, even though the polling time was extended by 90 minutes till midnight. Also, many voters expressed disdain, calling it an undemocratic poll, since it barred opposition Democrats and Liberals from participating. The last election 4 years ago had seen a record 71% turnout, bringing about a landslide victory for the Democrats. While this time, directly elected seats were slashed by nearly 80%, and all candidates were required to undergo national security background checks and secure nominations from 2 pro-government committees, and most failed to meet those thresholds. Andrew Wood is joining us to spell out more details. Andrew, good morning. The turnout fell to 27.5% from 71% last time in 2019. Why did the government's huge push to get people to the ballot box fail?
I think it's because a lot of people don't really care about these elections. As you say, they're the first Patriots-only elections, so that the people who are taking part in the election are basically pro-Beijing and pro-Hong Kong government. So it doesn't really matter who wins. There are far fewer seats than there were. Out of the district councils now, there's about 660 seats in total, but only 88 of them are involved in this election, are elected in this election. The rest are appointed. So even if every seat was won by the least pro-Beijing party, it wouldn't make any difference really to how the district councils are won. And that's a pretty deliberate design by the government to try to make it as difficult as possible, impossible even, for anybody who opposes the government to be elected.
All right, Andrew, also with Beijing's revamp of a Patriots-only governance in these municipal advisory bodies, do we have any international reactions on this revamp coming in?
Well, some NGOs and some Hong Kong dissidents who have fled abroad have said, basically that they don't think that this election was a proper democratic election. It's certainly very different from what was envisaged in 1997, when Britain handed over its last colony, major colony, to China, and Beijing had promised to preserve democracy and even extend it by having direct elections for Hong Kong's leader, the chief executive. That hasn't happened, and these elections, as I say, well, one person who didn't want to be named said to me, the problem with this election is if anybody, and this person was an anti-government person, the problem with this election is that if anybody, any of the candidates are allowed to stand, they're not worth voting for because they were allowed to stand, therefore because they must be in favour of the government, and there's no room for opposition views anymore.
All right, Andrew, we leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details.